Why is this anime so annoying? Why are the characters, music, and action scenes in this show so loud and obnoxious? What does this show want to be with its rock and roll music video direction, and why is experiencing this anime so loud and bombastic? There is a philosophy to this anime that this show is trying to run on. The idea of non-stop movement, talking, and story progression. There are very few stop gaps in this anime, so when this anime decides to stay quiet, these thematic pauses feel like a head-on collision with traffic. This anime is incredibly childish, to the point of insulting the intelligence that the show is asking you to have despite its emotionally immature nature. This anime is very messy, and for that reason alone, I actively despise this show and appall anyone who likes it. Here is why I don't like Fooly Cooly. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like the way that the characters talk in this anime.
He's dead! This young boy is completely dead, just as Taro would be!
But he's not Taro, like I said.
Oh, I
His
killed
name's
him!
Naota.
I finally
I
find
call
the
him
SOB and I
Papu,
killed him!
though.
I didn't
He's
mean
kinda
to, it was
cute,
an
don't you
accident.
think?
Kinda. Let's face it, I definitely, totally killed him, just like that!
Slut you're fooling around with. Huh? Huh?
Mamimi, we were down at the river!
Really, Mamimi?
I bet she does it like a weasel. She's cursed, I tell you.
Ah, your brother is away, so she's sinking her fangs into you, Naota. Fondling around, fooling around, Fooly Cooly!
You want. She doesn't look very bright. What's that thing on your head, Chief? It looks cool.
Put it out.
Let me see it.
Looking at it.
Huh?
I mean it!
That is so not cool.
There is no quietly voiced character in this show. Everyone in this story talks like a loud Asperger having idiot. Now there are quiet moments in this anime. Characters in this show will take the time to be real people, but these moments feel uncomfortable. As I said before, the pacing of everyone's dialogue is incredibly loud and immature. So when a character does decide to stop to give a piece of advice or to comment on the current state of events, these moments feel pretentious. Now, what do I mean by the word pretentious? Well, this show will pretend to be something that it's not. This show will pause its horrible animation with its horrible soundtrack, and it will give you, the audience, a moment of reflection. But since the visuals are in the forefront for these scenes, you are now allowed to think, unlike most of this anime's other moments. When this anime spends your free time being as loud and as annoying as it is, these moments of awe feel out of place and unfun to actually think about and experience. The characters are all bad, annoying, and poorly written in this show. The story of this anime is garbage as well. Here is a quick summary of the story. Naota is a small elementary school boy who is now living with the fact that his older brother has now moved away to America. Still living in Japan, Naota is now attempting to be a mature person despite the fact that he is still only a child. A woman with pink hair and a Rickenbacker bass guitar comes into this little boy's life. She is a super-powered alien, and her main goal throughout this entire anime is to destroy the universe. So by the end of this anime, Naota saves the universe with strange godlike powers that throughout this anime he could not control. Okay, now let me make this clear. The setup for this anime actually sounds kind of cool. I would dare even say that although this anime wants to be an artsy, pretentious mess, some of its visuals and story moments can be entertaining in small doses. Where this anime goes wrong is in how the story unfolds. The characters are all immature and loud, so the feeling of wanting to care about what is going on goes completely out the window with this anime. This anime is only 6 episodes long, and with that length, the story feels incredibly shallow. I would go as far as to say that the quote-unquote best moments of this anime are saved for the very end. One of this anime's biggest problems, besides it being annoying and immature, is that this show still wants to appear as deep. Naota, the main character, is a child who wants to now fill the void that his absent brother has now left in his life with feelings of maturity, despite being an emotionally unstable child. He wants to be in love, but that love is only symbolized as perversion. Instead of showing that Naota is a pervert through character development, this show is constantly using symbolism, imagery, and loud flashing colors. Naota grows horns on his head to symbolize that he's horny. That's it. I hate what I had to just point out to you because it sounds like cringe writing. But it's important to shed light on this show's terrible writing. This show is called Fooly Cooly because these words sound like hanky-panky. Fooly Cooly is an incredibly horny anime, and the title sounding like hanky-panky is no coincidence. This anime wants to be a deep philosophical commentary on love, maturity, and prepubescent behavior, but this anime is disgusting and immature. It's filled with fan service similar to any horrible by-the-numbers anime that wants to simply show boobs and butts just to show boobs and butts. I want to make it clear that I'm not a prude, and so using sex in a story is not a problem in of itself. The problem arises when you're writing an anime and you have to decide if those boobs are that character's personality or that maybe the character is simply more than just breasts. I hate the character Haruko. Haruko is the pink-haired alien woman I mentioned earlier. Her character is either sex appeal or she's loud and destructive. As I mentioned earlier, this anime wants to be both smart and stupid, deep but shallow. So someone like Haruko doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out character. She feels like an internet original character made up by a terrible and horny writer. Now, since this anime is trash and a mess of colors, boobs, and nonsense, I want to point out that this show is actually liked by a lot of people, and so I have to do something drastic. I have to be a giant loser nerd by comparing this anime to my top 3 favorite anime just so I can go to sleep at night. These anime are as follows: Trigun, Berserk, and the legendary Cowboy Bebop. Let's start with Trigun. Trigun is a funny anime, And Fooly Cooly wants to be a funny anime as well. Sadly, as I mentioned, Fooly Cooly's humor is only loud and spastic. When compared to Trigun, there is a huge difference in quality when it comes to the writing. Trigun is a bait and switch story. Trigun is about an outlaw named Vash the Stampede, who is actually attempting to be the hero throughout the entire anime. So the humor that this anime uses is actually a cover-up for how violent and disturbing the show really is. For the first half of this story, the humor is more present than it is in the more violent second half. The theme for this anime is loss. Vash is over 130 years old, so you could say that a lot of bad things have happened to him in that lifetime. Still, despite his misfortune of having a terrible life filled with murder and destruction, Vash is a character that can still crack a smile. Vash's story is one of finding hope in a hopeless place. The planet that Vash lives on is barren and riddled with murder and crime. So the attitude that Vash displays in this series is that life can be precious and you have no right to kill anyone for any reason. This show is smarter than Fooly Cooly because this philosophy of preserving all life is actually challenged by the many villains and foes that Vash faces in this series. Fooly Cooly is not funny, nor do any themes come together to create a funny or deep story. As I mentioned, Fooly Cooly is just a jumbled mess and could care less about actual character development. There is no real character development in Fooly Cooly, unlike Trigun. The story of Fooly Cooly, being a story of a little boy who is misunderstood, never amounts to anything big other than shallow, pretentious, symbolic visuals. Pretty colors with little to no real value. Trigun is nothing like that. Trigun is not a stupid anime, so these symbolic visuals of angel wings actually mean something in conjunction to the story of this anime. Vash is not human, so his powers are represented as godlike. Despite being an inhuman gunslinger outlaw with a high IQ, Vash is afraid of his existence and wishes to live a normal life. In Fooly Cooly, the main character is simply a punching bag for the writers to have really bad jokes play in front of the screen for the whole show's runtime. There are no intelligent character moments or moments where the show questions itself in a deep way. Fooly Cooly simply chooses to be only stupid, loud, and obnoxious with its writing. Alright, so let's move on to Berserk. The biggest differences between Berserk and Fooly Cooly is that Berserk is a completely serious and depressing anime. So since that's the case, I want to compare Fooly Cooly and Berserk by mentioning both shows' use of music. Fooly Cooly is poorly edited and mixed. The characters' voices are sometimes drowned out by the music. Said music is also out of place, and to be perfectly honest, I don't like the soundtrack to Fooly Cooly either. Now, let's look at Berserk. The audio is mixed well in Berserk, and the music is entirely situational, fitting, and properly scoring the show's most iconic moments. One drastic comparison that you could make between Fooly Cooly and Berserk is that Berserk is sometimes poorly animated, and Fooly Cooly's animation is sometimes fun to watch. I want to make it clear that I don't like how blobby and messy the animation is for Fooly Cooly. So although many exciting things are shown on screen for Fooly Cooly, the story is bad and the characters are annoying. So in comparison to Berserk, I'll take Berserk's limited animation any day of the week over the childish flashing colors that Fooly Cooly is entirely made up of. Finally, we have one of the greatest anime of all time, Cowboy Bebop. What comparisons can I make between Fooly Cooly and this amazing anime that I haven't already said in the previous two other animes? The music is better than Fooly Cooly's. The action is more exciting and more fitting to the plot. The boobs and butts that are in this anime actually have a place in the story, and the characters aren't just stupid. Sure, characters can be stupid people in Cowboy Bebop, but those character flaws actually serve a greater purpose to this show's larger and more well put together narrative than Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly is a 6-episode yelling match that you, the viewer, are forced to watch. No real character development, thematic moments, or substance exists in Fooly Cooly. So now it's time to end this video with my final thoughts. During a moment of my life, I was really interested in art and animation. So I was watching content like that of the YouTuber Ethan Becker. Ethan Becker likes Fooly Cooly. And this fact shocked me because although he is an animator with the skills of a college professor, Ethan attempted to use this trash fire anime with terrible and messy animation to explain art and animation like a thesis. I found this moment in his video to be disturbing. I don't understand why people like Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly is a bad anime in many ways, and to see it explained in a college-like thesis also disturbs me. And I guess I'm never going to understand this show's appeal in a million years anyways. Although Ethan Becker is an incredibly talented artist, and I highly recommend that you watch him if you are into animation, I guess deep down we all want to like trash that has no quality whatsoever, and Ethan Becker is no different. I don't blame him for having trash taste in entertainment, so I'll end this video this way. Fooly Cooly is about being a child, and some of those themes of adolescence are used to tell a story, but that story is a hot dumpster that I simply can't stand, and maybe that means that I'm a bitter adult who wants to be challenged instead of pandered to like a child. Now, I'm not calling Ethan Becker a child, but how much do you want to bet that the reasons as to why he likes Fooly Cooly are probably childish reasons? How much of this show can be enjoyed from a mature perspective, and how much of this show is just a mess meant for children's brains to enjoy? Think about that. Oh well, whatever. We
got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.